What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? This is your boy, It's Nefarious, and I am here for another episode following the career of LeBron James as the Cleveland Browns owner and our Cleveland Browns rebuild. And if you're enjoying the content, please down below like, comment, and subscribe. And this is our Cleveland Browns team. We are 3-1. We're third in the AFC North. We are the 8th seed when it comes to the AFC in total. We're 84 overall on offense, defense, and obviously overall. Taking a look at our statistics, we're top 10 in rushing, we're top 10 in giveaways, we are top 15 in points, we are bottom 7 in passing yards, so bottom 10 in passing yards. Taking a look at the defense, we are top 15 in points, we are bottom 15 in passing yards, we are bottom 5 in rushing yards, and we are first in takeaways, so doing well taking the ball away. But we are sitting here at 3-1. So Shedeur Sanders has been pretty good so far this season. He has he's 142 for 228 with 1,430 yards, 12 TDs, 5 interceptions. Jerome Ford's our leading rusher right now. It's been a committee because of the injuries. And then Jerry Jeudy has been our leading receiver. Defensively, taking a look at the sack leaders, Malik Collins leading the way. Mason Graham, the rookie, is number 2. Myles Garrett's been dealing with injuries this season, only 1.5 sacks so far. Interceptions, you got Emerson with 2, you got Ward with 1. You also got JOK with 77 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. So those are some of these stat leaders right now. But we are in week 8, and that being said, we have to go ahead and do the trading. We're going to go over to our tools, and we got the injured reserve fix, which will run. We're not going to exclude our team. No, actually, so we might exclude our team. So let's do that. Yes, we're going to exclude our team, and we're going to remove injuries. So injury reserve is fixed. We got to update the trading block. User teams from the trading block. Nah, you know what? Are we? Let's not. Let's go ahead and adjust the trading block. So let's take a look at the trading block if we can. Does it show the trade block? Yes, it does. So this is the trading block. Who for the Browns do they have on there? Cameron Thomas, who is not much, a D. He's rated D overall. Just a backup really on the trading block. Other than that, really nothing on our trading block. So the last thing we got to do is trade lottery. So the trade lottery randomly assigns teams to complete trades for players already on the trading block. Uses a weighted lottery system to evaluate team interests based on the roster needs and draft capital. Includes safeguards to avoid trading high value players to division rivals or top draft picking teams during regular season. Use in week 8 to replicate trade deadline. During the offseason, use during re-sign and free agency. So we're in week 8. Let's go ahead and use this. So we're not going to exclude the user teams. So I don't know what that means. Exclude user teams. Don't exclude. So I would assume the X means it's not excluding the user team. So here's the trade lottery. We got some interesting names on here. Cortland Sutton's on the trading block. You got Deebo Samuel. You got Brian Robinson Jr. You got Wattenberg. You got Romeo Doubs, Quay Walker. You got Gilman. Nobody's interested in him. Tyler Higbee. Rashid Shaheed is there as well. Christian Watson, Amari Hooker, Roger McGrary. You also got Taysom Hill. You got Mafe there, Zamir White. You got David Edwards and Percy Butler. So there's nobody we're really interested in. As you can see, the team's interested. So we're going to go ahead and run the lottery. So Sutton goes to the Jets for a 3rd and 7th. Deebo goes to the Steelers for a 3rd. Wattenberg goes to the Jags for a 3rd. You got Walker going to the 49ers for a 3rd. You also got Tyler Higbee going to the Eagles for a 7th. David Edwards goes to the Seahawks for a 5th. So there's all your trades. So those will be updated in game automatically. and we got some movement. No movement from the user team though. I don't think there was anything we're gonna make happen because we are 3-3-1. I don't think there's a reason to make a trade at this point unless we were selling somebody off, and there's really nobody we need to sell off at this point. But it's time to jump into the actual game. Taking a look at our schedule real quick before we do. You got for week 8, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, so that's good. And then we got the Packers and Bengals. We're gonna try to at least get to week 12 or maybe even week 13. We don't have a week 14 game. We could at least get to the bye week. That'll be our goal. We're gonna get to the bye week in this sim. All right, now we're in the game, and the first thing we want to take a look at is the player negotiations. David Njoku gotta get re-signed. He does have a green bar, and our rule is if they have a green bar, we're able to re-sign them during the season. If they're not interested, if they're yellow, we gotta re-sign them outside of the regular season in the 1-day window. If it's red, we're not even gonna attempt to re-sign them. Yellow, we'll give a shot. Green, we'll do during the season. And that is going to be the rules, the general rules that we'll have. So we got a few people that are green bars right now. So taking a look, you got David Njoku who wants to talk to us. He wants 12.6 million for the next 3 years. So 8 million in salary, and then 5.4 million in bonus. And remember, we are the owner, so the bonus comes out of our pocket. Obviously, yeah, it all goes to a cap hit, but it comes out of our pocket and our funds, as you can see on the top with the 99.1 million. So let's go ahead and go with a neutral risk. We'll offer him this. I think he deserves that for sure. So he does not re-sign. He wants a little bit more. So he wants a little bit more. Wyatt Teller, who wants 3.4 for 1 year. I think that's absolutely a steal. So we're going to go ahead and offer him. He wants a little bit more in money as well. So let's take a look at who else we could try to grab. Jerome Baker is interesting. He wants 5.29. We're gonna wait on him. We want to see what our linebacker room looks like before we commit to him, because we did just draft somebody. We might even draft somebody in this upcoming draft. Shelby Harris, we're gonna hold off on him. J.K. Dobbins as well, because we just drafted 2 running backs. So the 2 guys we really wanted to sign in Njoku and Wyatt Teller, both decided to ask for more money, so we'll have to wait until we're able to go ahead and give them more money next week. So we got to set our regional scout and focus. So there's some holes in this team, and none more glaring than the quarterback position, which we already have Shadur, the wide receiver position outside of Jerry Jeudy, and also the defensive end position outside of Myles Garrett. So that being said, what are we going to set this regional scout and focus as? So let's set our scout and focus. Right now it's at quarterback. Honestly, I like Shadur. We're going to give him at least 1 more year. He's been good this year. There's no reason to go off from him. So we're going to make our scout and focus wide receiver, because we do need a wide receiver for Shadur Sanders. So that is going to be our scout and focus. We'll go over the draft as we get closer. We also have I believe we have the mock draft, if we could actually pull that up. The first mock draft. So the first mock draft has been completed. They got Perkins going first overall to the Tennessee Titans. You got Reuben Bain Jr., you got Monroe Freeling, TJ Parker, Deshaun Womack, you got Peter Woods, Malik Muhammad, Lake McRae, Carnell Tate. Where do we have us? They have us at 23 grabbing Denzel Boston. So that is the current view of what the draft might look like. Who is the first quarterback taken in this draft? Because I didn't see one towards the top half. And the first quarterback actually is going to be... They got the Patriots taking Lee Hunter. It's also fun to watch the Patriots from the outside. So the first quarterback taken in this draft, wow, not even in the first round. So no first round quarterbacks in this draft, based on what they're saying. And what do we have for quarterbacks? You got Drew Allar, you got Nussmeier there. Who else do we got for quarterbacks in this draft? You got Klubnik, Carson Beck, Haynes King, Taylor Green, Miller Moss. You got a pretty decent QB room. So it's interesting that not a single QB is going to be taken in the first round. Drew Alla is a top 5 talent. So it's time to actually get into the sim. And we're dealing with injuries, like I said. And just giving you a quick look at the injury report. 2 more weeks for Jerome Ford, 2 more weeks for Myles Garrett. You got Reed, you got Hall. We're not going to take them off the IR. You got Harden, who's out. You got Njoku out for 1 more week. Obviously, Deshaun Watson and J.K. Dobbins. So right now we're relying on Quinshon Judkins to get it done. And actually, I want to jump into a game and user Quinshon Judkins. He's one of our young running backs that we got to focus on as far as being the future of this Cleveland Browns team. So we are taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in a divisional matchup at home. As you can see, they are 5-1, having a good season. We are 3-1. So we'll see if we're able to get a win, but we're going to focus on Quinshon Judkins in this one. You're going to see a lot of Quinshon Judkins highlights to see how he does, because he's one of the young guys that we really got to watch moving forward. So we are now player locked on Quinshon Judkins. He is not running this one. I think we have to call a hike ourselves. We do. So we're player locking. But we got to call hike. Shadur is trying to get outside the pocket. He's going to throw it away. So we're player locked on Quinshon. We'll see how we do with the young rookie. We do get to call the plays. We're going to try to call it without favoring the running game. And we're going to stay locked on Quinshon Judkins when we can. All right, 1st and goal. We're going to give it to Quinshon Judkins. He's going to run up the middle and get tackled behind the line. Chance for a TD here if we're able to get into the end zone. Another guy is Dylan Sampson. So we're going to go ahead and get a chance here. We drop the ball. Dylan Sampson with a drop. That could have been an easy touchdown if we were able to hold on to it. And on 3rd and goal, a big chance here. Shadur is going to look around. He's going to toss it into the end zone, and that's going to be incomplete. So 4th and goal coming up. Unable to successfully put it into the end zone. So we got to go with a field goal. All right, after a missed field goal, it's 7-0 Steelers, and Quinshon Judkins is going to get the ball here. He's going to find some open space and a big run for a 1st down. The power back getting downfield. Shadur trying to create on the run, and he actually throws an interception, a deep ball that was just sitting up there for the DB, Joey Porter, to pick off pretty easily. As we're going to see, take a look as they celebrate. I thought we were going to get the replay, but they're going to celebrate a bad and ill-advised throw by Shadur Sanders. There's the replay. Him rolling out and just chucking it downfield. Looking for Jerry Jeudy, it looks like. And Joey Porter was all over that. So trying to get things going here in our 3rd drive. It's going to be Judkins up the middle and only a 3-yard gain. After a big gain through the air, and Judkins is going to get the ball, and TJ Watt from behind gets Judkins down. 2nd and 7 coming up. 2nd and 7. We're going to have Judkins on the outside. He's going to get plenty of space and tackle down. A good gain from the young rookie. All right, 1st and goal from the 2. We're going to see if we could get the rookie into the end zone. It's going to be another toss to the outside. TJ Watt tries to get the tackle. He slows him down just enough. So 2nd and goal coming up. This time it's going to be the other rookie, Dylan Sampson, inside zone to the left-hand side. And that's clogged up as well. The Steelers defense making it impossible to get into the end zone. And on 3rd and goal, we're going to give it to Shadur Sanders to make something happen. He's going to go over the middle, and that's caught for a touchdown. And that's Fannin Jr. with a touchdown. Shadur Sanders making it happen. All right, we're going to pick this up in the 2nd half. We are up 17-10. The offense getting it done. Shadur Sanders with 2 touchdowns so far in this game, both to the tight end. And we got a 3rd and 4 early on. Can we go ahead and complete this? Remember, we are just playing with the running back, so it's on Shadur to make this happen. He's going to drop back. He's going to look around. That's going to be over the middle, and that's completed. Shadur with a great pass to Fannin as well. And with 5 catches and 77 yards, having a great game. And that's Judkins getting involved in the passing game on 3rd and 3. A good catch and a good conversion. Nice throw by Shadur to lead him upfield. As Judkins getting up the middle. A good hole there, but it looks like it's going to be a holding call. and it is a holding call on the offense. So that good game from Junkins is taken away immediately. All right, picking it up midway through the fourth. It's been a tough game so far for this Browns team, and it continues with that screenplay going nowhere. It's 27-17, chasing 10. The game's still in hand, but it's not looking good. Gonna need Shadur Sanders to, you know, make magic happen, and we'll see if he could do it on this 2nd and 14. He's gonna try to roll out. He gets the ball out. So 3rd and 7 coming up. Big 3rd and 7. Shadur is gonna look back and get it over the middle. That's gonna be fumbled. We ran right by it. We didn't even attempt to jump on it. I don't know why that happened. And the Steelers get the ball back. The defense with their 2nd forced fumble in this game. All right, 30-17. This game's pretty much out of hand. We're gonna pick up the blitzer there. He's going deep. That's Jerry Jeudy, and it's dropped. A great throw by Shadur, but that was dropped. Pretty good coverage too by Joey Porter. So the final score in this one, the Steelers 30 in the Cleveland Browns 24. Not a great game overall. Shadur Sanders 21-37, 285, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Aaron Rodgers 18-27, 258, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Taking a look at the rushing, you had Quishon Junkins, who had 16 carries for 51 yards, 3.1 yards a carry. He did have a fumble on the day. Dylan Sampson with 5 for 26, and then you had Fannin with 7 receptions, 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a really good game from him. Defensively, a lot of sacks for the Steelers, three in total, 2 from Hayward, 1 from Highsmith. They had 4 tackles from us, from Patrick Queen. That defense was all over the place. JOK had an interception, but also Joey Porter in the game. And then there was 5 forced fumbles, 3 from the Steelers and 2 from the Browns. So definitely going to take a look at that, maybe even lower the fumble rate. Because it seems like we get a lot of fumbles in this sim. So we drop another one, 3-4-1, and we got a media question. Jonathan Coachman, there have been some struggles at quarterback, especially lately. Would you like to see a change? So I don't think there's really been a struggle. No, absolutely not. We went in what direction? Okay. Would I like to see a change? It's not my call, really. I leave those decisions to the coaching staff. That's why I pay them. Let's go with no, absolutely not. So we lost. Per win, we get plus 2% with the starters, and per loss, we get minus 5% to the roster rating. So you do have some stuff. I know it's not the coach mode, and you get a lot more in the coach mode, but you do get some stuff with this owner mode. Not a lot of storylines, which is, you know, not the greatest, but we do what we do. So moving on to the next week, week 9, we do have somebody that was in the awards. You had JOK with 10 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. And then going to negotiate once again, we're trying to get David Njoku to sign. He did not take the neutral offer. We're going to go with a player friendly. So 3 years, 14.1, 14.9, and 15.7. We're only giving up 5.9 million in our money. So let's go ahead and make this offer. This is a great deal. So perfect. We go. Wait. What did I miss? What did I miss? I'm going to have to run that back and see what I missed. But for now, until I figure out what I missed, we're going to go over to Wyatt Teller and see if Wyatt Teller's will welcome a re-sign. So we're going to go with player friendly once again. He just needs more time to think it over. So we got a couple of guys that just need more time to think over if they're going to stay in Cleveland at the moment. So that's what's going on with the re-signs. Let's go ahead and jump forward and let's see how we do in these next few weeks. Hopefully, you know, we start putting some ones together. So we lose the last one to the Green Bay Packers. 21-11 was the final score. I mean, 25-11. And we get a chance to sign David Njoku again. So we went with a player friendly. We could go with a very player friendly. What did he say to the... Let's go ahead with a player friendly one more time and see what he says. All right, so he does finally sign. So David Njoku finally signs. Let's see what Wyatt Teller says. I'm going to do the same exact offer. All right, so he signs as well. They had some time to think it over, and they go ahead and re-sign. And I think that's all we're gonna try to re-sign out of the guys that were interested. So we're able to get at least David Njoku and Wyatt Teller. And we do have a new injury. It looks like it's going to be Dennis Gardeck, who's going to be out for 4 weeks, which isn't the end of the world. We're actually not mad at that. Honestly, can we even put him? We put him on the IR. It would open up a roster spot as well. He is 31, 75 overall. We're not really in a competing place right now. Let's go ahead and place him on IR. And we might call somebody up from our practice squad. Who do we got on our practice squad to call up to kind of take over? You got Nathaniel Watson. Honestly, nobody crazy. Jawan Briggs potentially. Let's go ahead and bring in. Let's bring in Jawan Briggs. Sign him from the practice squad. So we are sitting here in week 10. We are 3-5-1. So it's gone real south real fast. And one of the major things is we have to look at the coaching staff. Right now we got Kevin Stefanski as our main coach. Let's go to manage staff, franchise staff. So we got Kevin Stefanski as our main coach right now. He's our head coach. You got Tommy Rees and then Jim Schwartz as the DC. And taking a look at our numbers right now throughout the season, we have the 21st offense in points, 16th in passing yards, 12 in rushing yards. Not terrible. We're 26 in giveaways. When it comes to the defense, we're 18th in points, 22nd in passing yards, and we are 26th in rushing yards. And we're first in takeaways, though. We are getting a lot of takeaways. I guess that's the one positive of this situation right now. We missed the playoffs last year. We're trying to get back to the playoffs. It's not looking great right now for us. And honestly, I don't think we know what we want to do. I don't think we're going to sit Shedeur Sanders. I think he's been okay when you look at him and his statistics. Shedeur has been pretty decent so far. Last few games, we'll take a look at that. Week 7 against Baltimore, he did have 3 picks, and he did have 3 picks last week. So that's the two things where you're like, not so great. But so far in the season, 2,006 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 84.4 passer rating. So I can't be too mad at his performance. Now, rushing wise, outside of Jerome Ford, it hasn't been great. Quinshon Judkins only has 3.8 yards a carry. J.K. Dobbins with 4.9. And then you have Dylan Sampson with 3.3. So not a lot of rushing going on from this team. And honestly, we might just have to rock it out with it, because I think Shedeur Sanders is doing okay. I don't think it's time to sit him yet, and I don't think that's on the plate. We just got to have a healthy team and see how we perform. And this week we got the Cincinnati Bengals. So we're going to jump into some action with the Cincinnati Bengals, and the one thing we got to pay attention to in the storyline moving forward is going to be Kevin Stefanski, and do we keep him on this roster? As you can see, Slim Shady Joe Burrow whipping a rock, but do we keep him as our head coach? Could he be out the door? I think after the season, he could be a great scapegoat kind of firing, moving Kevin Stefanski and going elsewhere for the head coach. Maybe even somebody like Bill Belichick. I mean, comes back and, you know, takes over the reins for the Cleveland Browns. And we're going to have a nice situation here where we could potentially get a look at Mason Graham. We were thinking about player locking him, but why not just jump into a moments game against the Cincinnati Bengals, a divisional rival, and see if we could get some stuff going with Mason Graham, as he's unable to get there and Joe Burrow gets the first down. But like I said, Stefanski most likely out of the equation moving forward, especially if it continues to be this bad. I mean, if we do come close to a wild card spot, then we kind of debate it. But at this point, if we end up, you know, towards the bottom of the division, not even close to a wild card spot, I think the coach got to go. All right, a 3rd and goal coming up on this drive. Joe Burrow is going to drop back. We're going to try to force him out of the pocket. We don't, but he throws the ball away. So we at least force a field goal. We're going to pick it up here in the second quarter. A 3rd and 6 coming up. Shedeur Sanders. And we already got the question. Do we sit Shedeur? And we decided not to. Is it going to hurt us to not sit him? As we just dump it down. We had nothing over the top. We were looking over the middle. Nothing came open. So a 4th and 6 coming up. So the question's already surrounding Shedeur here early on in his career. As he makes a terrible throw. Not helping himself out. And I gotta say, he hasn't been necessarily terrible. So, besides that last throw, which was eventful, I would say the least. And we're gonna try to get it to Carter. Carter drops that over the middle. So 3rd and 10 coming up. All right, 3rd and 10, a big chance to convert, and that's almost picked off by Pratt. A terrible throw by Shedeur. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals being aggressive here in the 3rd, going for it on 4th and 4. That's going to be over the middle to Jamar Chase. And who better to go to than Jamar Chase on a 4th and 4 to get a conversion? He's going to need a conversion again. 3rd and 6. We're jumping in here. If we get him, he's not going to get a field goal opportunity. And we swat that down. Good play by the defense. And he might be a little too far for a field goal. And with a 13-10 lead, 26 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, we get another chance to make a stop defensively. We're going to get double teamed here as Joe Burrow gets outside the pocket and throws it away. This defense is playing phenomenal so far. And with the defense playing great, it's going to be on the offense to put on some pressure. And here comes Shedeur looking over the middle. That's going to be the DeAndre Carter. And a 4th and 4 coming up. Do we go for this? After deciding not to go for it, we're going to go back on the defensive side of things. 1st and 10 inside the 20. We got a big red zone defense situation with a 13-13 game. He's going to hand it off. We miss our run gap, but only a 4-yard gain for Chris Brown. Is it Chris Brown? Or am I getting that? Chase Brown. Chase Brown. Not Chris Brown. Chase Brown. Let's scratch that. Not Chris Brown. So 2nd and 6. Trying to get to the quarterback with Mason Graham. He's not able to beat any blocks, and that's a good run from Chase Brown to get a 1st down. And Jamar Chase with the catch and the touchdown. Who other than Jamar to get into the end zone to make it 20-13 as Joe Burrow finds him on a quick in. He breaks 1 tackle and falls across the line for a touchdown. But it's not over yet for Shedeur. He's going to step in 3rd and 5, trying to continue this drive. Going to look over the middle. That's to Tillman, and Tillman is unable to hold on to it. So a field goal coming up. And I thought a field goal was coming up, but we're going to be aggressive here. The coach going for it on 4th and 5. Can we convert? Going to have Njoku over the middle, and Njoku, the sure-handed tight end, gets the 1st down conversion. And it gives us a chance to jump into a red zone situation. Can we tie this game late? Gonna give it off to Quinshon Judkins. He's gonna get a good gain. He has 6 rushes for 51 yards, so a effective game so far from the rookie. And we also got a guy named Jerome Ford in the backfield looking to get things done. That's gonna get clogged up immediately though. And on a big 3rd down, 3rd and 4, can we convert? Gonna go over the middle, and Shedeur misses his target. So 4th and 4 with 2:52 coming. And the offense is going to stay on the field. Can we convert? Can the offense make it happen? He's going to check down to Quinshon Judkins. Judkins gets inside the 5. So a good job by Shedeur Sanders taking the open man and getting the easy 1st down. All right, 1st and goal. Trying to make something happen here. Going to look over the middle, but the pass rush gets there too fast. 2nd and goal coming up. A big play. Looking over the middle. That's going to be Tillman. Tillman into the end zone. And we're able to tie the game late, but we give Joe Burrow a little over 2 minutes to work to take the lead. We're going to get Joe Burrow in full action here as they're going to give us the full drive as a key moment to go ahead and win this game. And we're going to get Joey B in a 3rd and long early on in this game-winning drive. 3rd and 10. Can the pass rush do what it does and force Joe Burrow off the field? He's going to get a wide open target there. That's number 80. I don't know who number 80 is, but that's a huge gain. Gives him a 1st down. And they continue this drive. Just under a minute and a half to go over the middle. That's going to be a completion and a touchdown. Joe Burrow, the magic man, making it happen, but he did give us a minute and a half to work with to go down and try to tie this up. All right, now it's time for Shedeur to see if he could match Joe Burrow. And that's going to be a sack, so not starting off great as Hope gets in there to get a sack. 2nd and 19 coming up. Trying to save some timeouts. Going to look over the middle. That's to DeAndre Carter. That is a first down, and we're going to use our first timeout. Using our first timeout, we're going to drop back. We're going to look over the middle. That's to Jerry Jeudy, and he drops it. 30 seconds to go. We only have one timeout left, so we got to be careful on where we throw this. I'm going to look for David Njoku, and that's going to be out of play, and that's going to be a holding, it looks like. Yep, holding on the offense is going to back us up even more. All right, a holding backs us up even more. We got to try to make something happen. That's going to be over the middle, and that's intercepted. Shedeur Sanders with a pick and a spin move to boot. And the Browns lose another close one. Geno Stone sealing the game with a pick. So your final score in this one, 27-20. The Bengals take down the rival Cleveland Browns. It is not looking good in Cleveland right now. But this is a rebuild for a reason. Taking a look at the player stats, Shedeur was 23 of 40. He did have 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. Chase Brown, 34 yards. Jerome Ford, not effective. Quinshon Judkins was pretty effective, but not used as much. Jamar Chase with a really good game, 83 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy with 104 and a touchdown. So we at least have a pretty good 1-2 punch when David Njoku and Jerry Jeudy when they're both on the field. Hendrickson, JOK, and Malik Collins all had sacks. He had 2 interceptions in the game, and we had no forced fumbles this time. So a 27-20 defeat at the hands of the Cincinnati Bengals now drops us to 3-6-1. For a second, this team was looking like it was going to be pretty good, and it's been a run of losses on top of losses, and it doesn't get any better because we get to face somebody like the Minnesota Vikings. But we got the second mock draft. Let's see what they have for us. So now we are in the top 10 at number 10, and they got us taking Mansour Delaney, a 6'1" corner out of LSU. I don't think that's going to be the draft pick, if I'm being completely honest. Doubt that's going to be the draft pick. When it comes to the draft, we got to start taking a look at some of these prospects. And at the wide receiver position specifically, you got Carnell Tate, you got Zakarian Branch, you got Bryce Lance, Ty Robinson, Denzel Boston. I think that's an interesting pick. But he's a first or second rounder. You got Evan Stewart, Eric McAllister, Barrion Brown. You know he's going to have a lot of speed. He's an interesting one. Maybe we go ahead and take the speedster in Barrion Brown. You got Noah Thomas, who's a 6'5" wide receiver. So you got some interesting options when it comes to defensive ends. You got Ruben Bain Jr., you got TJ Parker, and then you got Dennis Sutton in the first round. You also got Womack and Malachi Lawrence in the first round. And then defensive tackles, you got Peter Woods, but we're not going to go there. I mean, we already drafted Mason Graham, or they drafted Mason Graham. You got Mateo Ukulele. We're going to call him Ukulele. And honestly, not looking great. You got Perkins, who's not an edge rusher, I don't believe, and then you really got nobody on the other side. You got Sonny Styles, who's an interesting prospect, but honestly, in the 2 positions we desperately need, when it comes to the defensive end, I would actually put number 1. And maybe we get Ruben Bain. If we're able to get Ruben Bain, I think that would be a good, a good pick. But we'll see if he ends up falling to us, or if we end up being in a position to draft him without him falling. So we move on to next week. After losing to the Cincinnati Bengals, and we beat the Minnesota Vikings, and we lost a practice squad player in Shamari Simmons. He's going to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs stealing one of our players. You love to see when the Chiefs steal a player. So we get a rematch with the Bengals. Let's see how we do in this one. We're not going to jump into that one. We're going to get to the bye week. We got a new injury. We beat the Bengals. So now we're sitting here at 5-6-1. So after a long slide of disappointing games, we're now 5-6-1. Shelby Harris has gone down for 4 weeks, which isn't the end of the world. And at 5-6-1, we got some chances, and we're gonna have the Jaguars steal a player, and then also the Ravens steal a player. So we got to go ahead and get 2 more practice squad players. So we made it to the bye week. We just lost to the Jets. 50-31 was the final score on that one. Oh my, that was gross. And we lost JOK out for 7 weeks. It says suspension. It's obviously an injury, but out for 7 weeks. JOK will be gone, as it looks really weird with no helmet on. So he's going to be out for 7 weeks. That's pretty much the rest of the season. Even if we go into the playoffs, then we potentially get him back. So we won't put him on IR. There's nobody we really need to sign. Nathaniel Watson goes to the Saints as they steal another practice squad player of ours. So you gotta love that. It looks like we are the practice squad place, and we're gonna go grab Emmanuel Forbes. Let's go ahead and put him on the practice squad. So with us being at the bye week, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats overall. Shedeur Sanders so far this season, 2,820 yards, has a 61 completion percentage, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks. Not bad for a rookie. Jerome Ford has 544 yards. You had Junkins with 474. You have J.K. Dobbins with 386. You have Shedeur Sanders, who has 177, and Dylan Sampson with only 90 yards. Quinshon Junkins also has 5 touchdowns. Pretty good season for a rookie. Jerry Jeudy, almost 1,000 yards in through the air with 60 receptions. 5 TDs. You got Tyler Boyd with 6, who's number 3 on the list. DeAndre Carter has 424. Fannin Jr., the rookie, has 307 in his time with David Njoku being out. David Njoku himself only 268 yards, and he's only played in 7 games, so we'll give him a break. Junkins getting involved through the air, pretty good there. Take a look at the defense. Right now, our sack leader is Myles Garrett. Look at that. He's healthy and he's getting sacks. He's number 1 with 6.5. Mason Graham, the rookie, really good so far with 6.5 himself. So it's nice to see him getting busy. You got Quandre Diggs. Actually, we got to go back to sacks. You got Malik Collins with 6. You also got Shelby Harris, Isaiah McGuire. You got Jordan Hicks. Taking a look at the interception, Quandre Diggs with 3, JOK with 2, Emerson with 2, and Denzel Ward with 2. And taking a look at the fumbles, 2 forced fumbles by Mason Graham. Mason Graham has been a dog so far this season. But we do want to take a look at the league leaders. I know we're a little more than half, and we'll probably take a look again. Let's see where Shedeur is for rookies. So the first rookie on the list, gotta go a little bit away to get to him. It still has Derek Carr. He has a retired in game. Caleb Williams having a decent season. Shedeur leading all rookies, and I think that's because other rookies like Cam Ward is not actually starting for his team. Let's see if Cam Ward even has any. Will Levis leading the league in passing. That's the starter right now. So let's go over to Cam Ward. Is he starting? Or I mean, does he even have a game? He does not even have an attempt so far this season. JJ McCarthy in his first full season. You can count him as a rookie if you really wanted to. Will Howard not being involved. So you got a few guys where you're like, all right, you know, Will Levis should not be starting over Cam Ward, but they are. Interesting enough he is. But this team has not been terrible. Obviously still a rebuild. Sitting here at, you know, what was it? Why am I losing the record? 5-7-1. We're 3rd in the division. We're still in place for a wild card spot, it looks like. We go to the standings. So based on the standings, We're gonna go to the AFC. So you got the division winners. Actually, it doesn't show the division winners right now. I wish it would show just the by division instead of like this. Is there another way to take a look? No, it doesn't have the wild card race. But if I'm looking at it right now, you got Baltimore, obviously the division winner. You got the Patriots winning the division in the East. You got the Colts winning the division in the South. They're tied with Houston. So you're looking at the Steelers and the Texans and the Colts, you know, taking one of the wild card spots. And then you also have the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, and Chiefs, who are 6-6. The Vegas Raiders are actually winning the division over there, which is beyond me. That is insane. But Stefanski gets to live another day, at least until we finish the season, because so far we're in a position to compete and potentially make the playoffs, even though I don't think we have a great team. But that's gonna do it for this one. If you're enjoying the content, please like, comment, and just subscribe. I'm your boy It's Nefarious, and I'm out of here.